Hello, Mid-Michigan, and welcome to high school softball on a beautiful Monday here in Mount Pleasant at Ted McIntyre Field. We've got our first look at the Oilers softball squad this year. They're 12-5 coming into today, taking on a Davison team. I think only one or two wins so far on the year, but all their losses are to really strong squads. Grand Blanc, Midland Dow, Midland High, along with some other big schools there, but our first look at this Oilers squad, Ava Petrino leading things off. She's headed to play some big-time softball next year. She'll be hitting in the number one spot, playing third base. Behind her will be McKenna Bowman playing on the mound, or in the circle. Always goof that one up. Carmen Loya behind her. Lexi Barodachuk will be playing center field, hitting in the cleanup spot. Taylor Reck will be batting fifth, playing first base. Haley McIntyre batting sixth, playing in left field. Chloe Gillespie will be behind the plate. She will be hitting seventh. Briar Zenneberg hitting eighth. She'll be out in right field. And Morgan Barodachuk rounding out the starting lineup. She will be at shortstop for the Lady Oilers. You're listening to the Woods Household pregame show here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Again, our first look at Oilers softball. Would have done some Oilers softball earlier this year. However, with all those cancellations and what you not, we were able to, end up getting in that Shepherd-Beale City softball game. So with two ultra locals, obviously want to do that game. But what a comeback it was. Mount Pleasant took the first game 12-11, and we're down a bunch of runs going into the final inning. I'll definitely be talking about that with Coach Davis next time I check in with him on a Batter Up podcast. But this is the Woods Household, a pregame show. Also, much love going out to Weefrich Financial, Clark Modular Homes, the Bird All-American Grill, Bill's Custom Fab at Gates Drilling and Service. And we're coming to you from the Barberry Law Studios, built by Konwinski Construction. We're going to take a break here on the Woods Household pregame show. When we come back, talk a little bit about that lineup from Davison and talk a little bit more about this lineup from the Oilers. You're listening to the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Oilers softball, back with more Woods Household pregame show right after this. For over 4 decades, ENS Graphics has delivered confidence, trust, and peace of mind by providing their customers with expert service and using state-of-the-art technology. We all know in sports, what's on the inside counts the most. But when it comes to your business, school, organization, what's on the outside does matter. If your business needs anything printed, ENS Graphics can do it. If you want your club, team, organization to look good, ENS can help with that. They take your vision and make it their mission. ENS Graphics, a proud supporter of the Mid-Michigan community and their local athletes. Visit ENS Graphics at their location down in Ithaca or visit their website at esgraphics.com. ENS Graphics, printing all things physical.
Hey guys, it's Tanya from Clark Modular Homes. I'm here to talk to you today about who we are and what we do. Clark's opened in 1983 and has been centrally located right here in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. We have one of the largest display centers with around 12 to 15 homes on display all year round. We have a fully experienced staff. We also have an in-house project manager who can pull our permits and coordinate our job from start to finish. We are proud to have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. We are our own contractor, making it a one-stop shop for you for your home building needs. As the owner would say, we can do it all.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back inside our Woods Household pregame show here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network as we get you set up for high school softball action. The Mount Pleasant Oiler girls 12-5 hosting the Davison Cardinals. Again, Davison's record not the greatest coming into this game. I believe it's 1-7 somewhere, 2-6 somewhere else as well. But the schedule they played very, very tough. And again, they're a monster school, about 700 more kids than the Oilers. So they're going to have some softball players. More love going out to our friends J&J Auto, Mount Pleasant Heating and AC. Conwinski Construction, Weber Brothers Sawmill, Mumford Oil and Gas Supply, E&S Graphics, GNS Mechanical, along with our friends at Mount Pleasant Public Schools who are hiring bus drivers right now. They also need parapros, substitute teachers, and what you not. To get started being a bus driver as paid training, full benefits, go to mtpleasantschools with an S.net. That's mtpleasantschools with an S.net. Or the girls headed out right now to do some infield, and you know your boy's real. He's not afraid to make fun of himself. This is going to be the most work that I have put in here because the view we've got, as you can see, is absolutely incredible here at Ted McIntyre softball field. But we are pretty close, pretty on top of the action, so I'm going to have to be pretty quick with the camera here, and so maybe not worried about the count so much with some of these batters. So, yeah, we're going to put your boy to the test here today, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun with some Mount Pleasant Oilers softball. You can see Coach Davis out there right now hitting some pop flies to the girls. But the starting lineup for Davison, as I said, the one place I saw the record was 2-8, I believe, on Game Changer. Leading off things will be their center fielder, Peyton Beagle. Hitting in the number 2 spot will be the shortstop, Berkeley Stimson. Playing first base, hitting in the number 3 spot will be Bella Massimino. Batting cleanup, playing second base will be Anna Titsworth. Batting fifth, playing catcher will be Emmy Adams. Playing left field, batting sixth will be Kelsey James. Playing third and batting seventh will be Brooke Pizzala. Batting eighth in the DH spot will be Emily Helton. And batting in the number 9 spot, the right fielder, Austin Clark. And it'll be Sydney Simmons on the mound for Davison. She will not be at the plate, so big things will be expected of her in the circle. It is the Woods House pregame show. More love to Bryce Up McGrath, Pradium Realty, Robin Stressman and Associates, and my main man Joe Wentworth, Pradium Realty, Robin Stressman and Associates as well. JJ Painting, Central Michigan, Santa Gravel, Block Electric, The Diner, All Seasons Fireworks, Bryant Family Farms, Pure Plumbing, Isabella Bank, and Hanging by a Thread. We're going to take another break here on our Woods Household pregame show. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about this Oiler starting lineup, in particular a couple of the youngsters. It's really cool to see how multi-sported they are, if that makes any sense at all. It's the Woods Household pregame show. We're back more right after this on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Elevate your banking experience. Isabella Bank is your local banking partner. We understand the importance of personalized service, providing solutions that fit your unique needs. When you bank with us, together we can drive positive change and build stronger communities. Experience banking redefined. Make the switch today and experience banking that goes beyond. Isabella Bank. Local. Growing. Staying. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Bryant Family Farms would like to wish everyone good luck on the field and on the court. Bryant Family Farms offers maple syrup, mums, pumpkins, beef, goats, and fresh cut flowers. With you pick, bouquet arrangements, and subscription flowers. Bryant Family Farms, 3.5 miles south of the casino on South Leeton Road. Visit BryantFF.com or call 989-304-1201. All Seasons Fireworks is a big fan of all the athletes, coaches, officials, and volunteers who make high school sports happen. To make your next event bigger and brighter, stop by All Seasons Fireworks on M20 in Mount Pleasant. Graduations, birthdays, weddings, or a big win become more memorable underneath a night sky lit up by the magic of fireworks. All Seasons Fireworks on M20 in Mount Pleasant.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network in our Woods Household pregame show. All right, that lineup for Mount Pleasant one more time in case you're just joining us as they get some more infield in. Ava Petrino will be leading things off. She plays third base. Hitting in the number 2 spot will be McKenna Bowman, who you see in the circle there. Batting third will be Carmen Loya, who you see playing second base. Out in center field, out there somewhere, shagging some fly balls, is Miss Lexi Perotachuk. She'll be hitting the cleanup spot, playing center field. You see Taylor Recker over there at first base. She'll be batting in the 5 spot. Haley McIntyre also out there in the outfield. She will be playing left field. She'll be batting in the 6 spot. Chloe Gillespie behind the plate, helping Coach Davis out with that infield. She'll be batting in the 7 spot. Briar Zennerberg will be out in right field, hitting in the 8th spot. You see Morgan Barodachuk trotting back out to her shortstop position. She will be batting in the number 9 spot. 12-5 Mount Pleasant Oh, man, their district is going to be absolutely loaded. You're going to have the two Midlands and Bay City Western there. So with Midland High, Midland down, Mount Pleasant, you could have three teams ranked in the top 25 in Division I. It's going to be absolutely incredible as the Oilers get finished with their infield warm-up. We will take one more break here, and again, Davison, I imagine they're going to be a tougher out than I'm about to say here, but reason why we're going to send it out to a third break here on the pregame show, this is the first game that I've done where I thought maybe, just maybe, the Oilers could put it on them here a little bit and, don't tell the pitching counterpart to Miss Bowman, Sydney Simmons, that I said that. But you look at the records, Mount Pleasant's got a chance to put them on today. Could be, 3-inning game, 5-inning game, but it's our first look at Oilers softball on the year. We're going to take another break here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Oilers softball coming right up.
GNS Mechanical in Wademan offers service and installation on everything for your home and business. From a simple filter replacement to furnace, central air service, and install, geothermal, and walk-in coolers and freezers. If you have a need, GNS Mechanical has a solution. Learn more at gnsmechanical.com or call 989-644-2106.
Pure sportsmanship is the most important thing in high school sports. When it comes to your home or business, Pure Plumbing just might be the most important thing. If your plumbing isn't Pure, don't worry, no one needs to see the other angle. For Pure Plumbing, call 989-644-8928 or visit mipureplumbing.com. Mumford Oil and Gas Supply is your one-stop shop for top quality products and procurement in the Michigan oil and gas industry. With over 45 years of experience and a strong commitment to customer satisfaction, Mumford Oil and Gas Supply delivers the best solutions for your oil and gas production, drilling, and service needs. If you need it, Mumford Oil and Gas Supply can get it. Visit them on Fancher today or give them a call at 989-317-8582.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Had things out there at center field, national anthem probably coming right up. Again, sometimes baseball, softball, you don't necessarily have that national anthem. Things a little bit different out to baseball, softball, diamond compared to football, and basketball. Obviously, you got the power inside. There's always the big press box for football, but not necessarily always the same thing for baseball. Matter of fact, where I'm at, probably just more for video, but had to climb up a ladder. I've got to give a huge, huge shout out to Jason McIntyre, who made it pretty easy for me to get all of my equipment up here to this beautiful perch that we have to bring you some high school softball action. I'm going to assume that there's going to be a national anthem, so we're going to send it out to one more commercial break. Might be during the anthem, might be after if I time things up just right, but we have got Oilers softball coming right up. They'll obviously be in the field this first game as the home team. It'll be McKenna Bowman on the mound, and I talked about this before I went to break. Didn't get to it the last time. The two youngsters, Lexi Barodachuk, Morgan Barodachuk, both freshmen, all three-season athletes. Love to see that. And when you got two freshmen playing up the middle like that, I always say when you get to high school baseball and softball, it's catcher, it's pitcher, shortstop, center fielder. So to have two freshmen there might be a little, if you're some schools, but when you got two Barodachuks there, you're feeling pretty darn good about it. That's Lexi Barodachuk batting cleanup, playing in center field, and Morgan Barodachuk batting in the number 9 spot. As you hear me often say, not your typical number 9 hitter. She is going to be more of kind of a second leadoff hitter for Ava Petrino at the top of the order. We got Oilers softball coming right up right now, a meeting of the minds. Coach Davis, Coach Bazala, along with two umpires. Again, we need more officials. If you want to be an official, if you want the best seat in the house, brought to you by our friends at Woods Household Appliance, they are the ones that have it out there. One right behind home plate, one in between pitcher and second base, or sometimes down that first baseline. They have got the best view of the game. They have got the best seat in the house. And hey, guess what? They're getting paid to be here as well. So if you would like to be an official, head to MHSAA.com, and click that Be the Referee tab. We will send it out to one more break game. Could come back during the anthem. Could come back ready for first pitch. It's Oilers softball, our first look at the 12-5 Mount Pleasant Oilers. More coming up right after this on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Get your yard ready for spring and summer with Martinez Lawn Care. Martinez Lawn Care is scheduling spring cleanups now, along with bush and tree trimming, landscaping needs, and scheduled mowing services. Find Martinez Lawn Care on Facebook or call them at 989-317-5536. Weefridge Financial knows it can be incredibly overwhelming to navigate the world of financial planning. With trusted guidance and easy-to-understand advice, you can feel comfortable in your financial future with Weefridge Financial. Weefridge Financial assists people in all stages of life with a specialization in retirement and investment planning. Experience the power of working with an advisor dedicated to your success. Visit WeefridgeFinancial.com. Visit them in downtown Mount Pleasant. Call or text 989-953-7888. Weefridge Financial, member SIPC. Konwinski Construction offers a full range of construction services on small and large projects. Konwinski Construction is a leader in the community and are proud to support those student athletes who will be leading our community tomorrow. Konwinski Construction on Gover Parkway, Mount Pleasant.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. It is time for Oilers softball. Last few warm-up throws out there for the infield. Stepping up to the plate is Peyton Beagle, the center fielder for Davison. On the mound for the Oiler girls, it is McKenna Bowman. Here we go, Oilers softball here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Bowman will have a last few warm-up pitches. I'll tell you what, I got to give some credit or some guts, love to Taylor Recker over there. She's the first infielder I've seen this year. She's at first base. She does not have the face mask on, which tells me she's got to have some very quick hands. See Petrino tossing it there. On the second base to Loya, and you've got Barodachuk there at short getting those last few warm-ups in. And then out in the outfield there, you see McIntyre over and left. Out in center, it is Barodachuk. And out in right field, it is Miss Breyer Zenneberg. So I guess this is going to be the toughest camera job maybe of the year so far for this guy. I think we maybe did one solo football game, bunch of solo basketball. Big shout out to my main man, Adam Gursky, for helping me all this year with so much camera work. All those highlights you saw from the playoff runs for football and basketball, that was all Mr. Adam Gursky. A big shout out to him for being a big help here on the first year of the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. All right, Beagle is stepping up to the plate. Coach Pizzala heading towards me here down the third baseline. That's another thing. I'm going to have quick hands up here, too, if we got a foul ball coming this way. We have to be ready to swat it away from our super expensive professional camera here. And we do have the Oiler girls right below us. I made sure to tell them, hey, don't be shy or anything. And they said, oh, don't worry, we won't be. All right, here we go. First pitch of the game. Beagle at the plate. Bowman on the mound. She winds and deals. First pitch will be over for a strike. Bowman back into the middle of the circle. Here's some noise coming from the Davison dugout along with the Oiler dugout. That one's just going to miss inside. 1-1 now, the count to the center fielder, Peyton Beagle, leading things off. In high school softball, it seems more and more you got your best hitters at 1-2. No matter if they've got the power to drive in runs or not, you want them to get the most at-bats that they can. That one's just going to miss outside this time for Bowman. 2-1 the count to Beagle. And Davison comes into this game, I believe was game changer, had him at 2-8. But those 8 losses were to all really strong teams. So there's going to be no pushover here today. Check swing that time. They're going to say she did not go around. That'll run the count to 3-1. Stepping back in is Beagle. Now heading the count 3-1. Should get something to hit here. That one's just going to miss. Maybe a bit high there. Again, I don't have the best vantage point. Best view of the house brought to you by Woods Household Appliance. Again, it's those officials in particular. The guy in the blue shirt right behind the home plate. I kind of have cut off a little bit here to get as much of the infield as we can. So the leadoff run around for Berkeley Stimson. Winding and dealing is Bowman. This one's going to be popped out towards second. Double play opportunity here for the Oiler girls. They get the first, looking to get the second. She will be safe. Good hustle by Stimson beating that one out. She will be on via fielder's choice. Out trying to go to second is Peyton Beagle. Nice play out there from Carmen Lloyd to make sure she gets that lead runner from her second base position. And right on it as well at shortstop, ready for the putout, was Morgan Borodachuk. Comes Bella Massimino. She plays first base, batting in the 3 spot. She checks the swing. That'll be over for a strike. Couple more practice swings. Stepping back in is Massimino. Here comes the 0-1. That one's going to be high. Gillespie ready to fire down to second base if Stimson even thinks about making a move. Bowman back in the circle. This one's going to be hit hard. It'll get towards left field, to left field, I should say, for a base hit. Quickly getting it in is McIntyre. So now 2 runners on here, just 1 out in the top of the first inning. A good opportunity here for the Davison offense with the cleanup hitter, Anna Titsworth, at the plate, and runners at second and first. Bowman winds and deals. This one will be fouled right in front of us here. Petrino on top of it. Gets it back on the mound, or in the circle. You'll hear me do that a bunch. That's the problem with going baseball, softball, baseball, softball. Most of the stuff is the same, except for that one right there in the circle on the mound. Bowman ready. That one will be high. 1-1 to count to Titsworth. Big moment here early in this game. 2 runners on for Davison. The top of the first inning, there's only 1 out. And both these teams play in the Saginaw Valley League. No games off no matter who you play. I said that Davison record doesn't look great coming into today, but their competition they have played very, very stout. Titsworth's going to line this one towards short. Petrino's on it. Looks to get the lead runner over at third. It's going to bounce away from Borodachuk. A lot of contact there. They go home to look to get the runner. That throw was off. Moving up to second and third is going to be Massimino and Titsworth. But very kind of a bump there at third base. It looked like initially Borodachuk had it, but then there was kind of a bump there with Massimino and Borodachuk. The ball eventually came out of the glove of the Borodachuk as she was going to the ground, and so ultimately she was called safe, and then a nice base running move as she went home after that as the ball squirted away. Now runners at second and third, just 1 out here in the top of the first. At the plate now is the catcher, Emmy Adams. Bowman bounces that one in there. Adams steps back in. Davison already had 1-0 here in the top of the first. Bowman winds and deals, showing bunt at the plate. It's going to go to the backstop for Adams. 1-1 now the count. Ready to take home was Massimino. Ready to take third was Titsworth. The bunt didn't get down. 1-1 now the count. 1 out, top of the first inning. 1-0 the score. You always hear me say a whole lot of 2s. That's a whole lot of 1s. Bowman winds and deals. The infield playing in. That one's fouled off. A big moment for a strikeout here for McKenna Bowman. And you heard me say it, talking about, Macy Johnston, Marin Wheaton on the mound, taking on some of the big schools in some of the past games that we've done with our local softball teams. Very similar with the Oiler girls. Bowman's not worried about giving up 1, 2, even 3 runs. Fly ball to center field. Nice play from Borodachuk. They think about sending the runner home, but Borodachuk with a strong throw home does not allow that. Big time play out in center field from Lexi Borodachuk as she does not allow that runner to come home from third. Also good piece of base running out there from Massimino. Borodachuk's really got an arm. Stepping in now is Kelsey James, the left fielder. Big moment here now. 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs. Bowman's going to miss high on the first pitch. Practice swings. James steps back in. Runners on second and third. 2 outs, top of the first inning. Davison's already got 1 run across. Probably would be unearned for Bowman out there. She winds and deals. That's going to be low. 2-0 now the count to left fielder Kelsey James. And big moment here early. 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. The Oilers got the fly ball to center field. Borodachuk zipped it home to not allow that tag from third base. Here comes the next one. This one's also a fly ball out to center field. Borodachuk gathers underneath it to make the play. And we head to the bottom of the first inning. The Oilers do give up 1 run, but a stranding 2 out there is Davison. If you are the Cardinals, you would have loved to get 2 more runs across there as you had the 2 runners in scoring position with just 1 out. We'll be back with more Oilers softball right after this on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
When your team or business needs to look good, don't get left hanging. Call or stop by Hanging by a Thread in Wademan, the official embroiders for the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Hanging by a Thread, a proud supporter of local schools.
J&J Auto in Wademan is Mid-Michigan's elite automotive repair shop. J&J Auto offers complete collision repair and mechanical repair. Stop by on Wademan Road or call them today at 989-644-8908. J&J Auto, proud supporters of high school student athletes.
Value is not just a price. When you buy something for your home, it's an investment. Knowing that you're getting a great deal and service after the sale is priceless. At Woods Household, we only carry quality products for your home at competitive prices. Furniture that is attractive and durable. Comfortable mattresses that last for years. Flooring that stands up to wear and tear. These are all products that last by trusted name brands like FlexSteel, Serta, Whirlpool, and many more. So shop the Woods way.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. It is the bottom of the first inning. The Oiler girls gave up 1 there in the top of the first. And pardon me, I had Peyton Beagle. It was Parker Gordon who led things off there. Parker Gordon is number 9 for Davison. Beagle is number 10. And so, not a shameful error by me, but got to make sure I get those names right. Here we go. This powerful Oiler offense at the plate to start things off will be Miss Ava Petrino. I want to say Louisville, where she is headed to play softball next year. Coach Davis head down to the third baseline here, and here we go to start off the offense for the Oilers. It's Petrino, it's Bowman, it's Loya. Do Up, brought to you by our friends at Clark Modular Homes, the Bird All-American Grill, Weefrich Financial, Bill's Custom Fab, Gates Drilling and Service, and Barbary Law. So here at Ted McIntyre Field, just a stone's throw away from Carlo Barbary Field. Another baseball field named in honor like Carlo Barbary. This field here named in honor of the Hall of Famer Ted McIntyre. 1-1 the count to Petrinos. The first one misses, and she fouls back to second one. And on the mound is Simmons for Davison. She's not at the plate today, so her only focus is in the circle. This one's roped right up the middle for a base hit for Ava Petrino. A great way to lead things off for Mount Pleasant as she has got the single. Not a seeing eye single or anything like that. That one was roped right up the middle. There was not a play to be made at short or second base. Now McKenna Bowman steps up to the plate. I wouldn't be surprised to see a bunt here. See the lead, well, not a lead, but the stance over there. She does show a bunt. Petrino thinks about going. The first base, third base comes in quickly. A nice job by Titsworth at second base for Davison to be covering very quickly over there if they wanted to make that snap throw back from the catcher spot to first base. Bowman steps back in. She shows bunt once again. Now she swings away, and it goes by third base into the outfield. Petrino will have to hold up at second, but a great piece of hitting right there as Bowman showed bunt. Then she pulled it back with that third base coming in and was able to send it to the outfield for a base hit. First 2 runners on for the Oiler girls with Carmen Loya stepping to the plate and Lexi Borodachuk on deck. 1-0 Cardinals with the lead. That'll be high. 1-0 the count to Loya. 1-0 our score here in the bottom of the first inning. A great start for the Oiler girls offensively with the first 2 runners on. Number 3 hitter Loya at the plate. This one will be fouled back by Loya. Just missing that one. Loya batting from the right side. Steps back in. The Oiler girls. The white pants, the blue socks, the blue jerseys. The Cardinals out there in all maroon. Big cut that time for Loya. She was swinging for that 205 fence mark out there. 1-2. Simmons now ahead in the count. Still nobody out here, bottom of the first inning. First 2 runners on for the Oiler girls. Loya will take that one. Good eye, as they say. 2-2 now the count to Loya. Plays second base for the Oiler girls. Loya's going to foul this one out of play. And remind me why I moved my car a little ways away after getting my gear up here. Got another big shout out to Jason McIntyre helping me pile all that gear up here to the vantage point that I've got to bring you the action here. Here comes the 2-2. Loya's going to take that one. It'll run the count full. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up here to Carmen Loya. A very good eye that time. That had to be a hard one to hold off on with 2 strikes. Here comes the 3-2. Loya's going to send this one to short. It's going to go to the outfield. Rounding third. They're going to hold her up, Ava Petrino. And it was a nice throw in from left field, so a good decision there by Coach Davis. But you now have your first 3 base runners on. Petrino singles, Bowman singles, Loya singles, and the bases are loaded full of Oiler girls with the cleanup hitter, Lexi Borodachuk, stepping up to the plate. Here comes the first pitch of the at-bat. That's going to be high and outside, 1-0. Now things really get tough for Simmons on the mound. Got the cleanup hitter at the plate. The base is loaded, and you cannot give her first base. Big swing and a miss that time from Borodachuk. 1-1 now the count. The number 4 hitter playing center field. Taylor Recker is on deck. Haley McIntyre behind her. Another swing and a miss there for Borodachuk. 1-2 now the count. Good location on the last 2 pitches from Simmons. Low in the zone. Not easy to catch up with. Swing and a miss that time as well for Borodachuk. A big, big time punch out for Simmons on the mound. But the bases are still loaded right now for Taylor Recker as she steps in, batting from the right side. Looks to Coach Davis down the third baseline right here in front of us for the sign. Simmons winds and deals. This one will be hit towards third base. Nice kick save there by Coach Davis. 0-1 to count now to Recker. Again, McIntyre on deck. Bases are loaded full of Oiler girls. They trail 1-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. There's 1 out. Big punch out moments ago from Simmons. Recker takes that one. It's high. Count now even at 1-1. Haley McIntyre on deck. Chloe Gillespie behind her. Then Zenneberg, Borodachuk. No holes in this Oiler lineup. This one's going to be hit hard towards center field. Possibly a chance to tag up. It's pretty shallow, but they're going to send Petrino home. There will be a play at the plate. It's a little wide. Safe at home is Miss Petrino. Great piece of base running from Gillespie to move up to third. Along with Loya moving up to second. So coming in to score is Petrino. We are tied now, and it's a sacrifice RBI fly, I should say there, for Recker to bring in the first run for the Oilers. Now Haley McIntyre steps up to the plate. 2 outs, runners at second and third. Same spot we had moments ago with Davison after they had a run come across. There's 2 outs, runners at second and third. McIntyre swings at this one. It's chopped down the third baseline, just going foul. Whining and dealing is Simmons. It's going to be hit right to the pitcher. McIntyre wanted to hold out on that one. It's just going to be a pop out right back to the circle. But there is one run across on 3 hits. The Oiler girls do leave 2 on, very similar to Davison. We're headed to the second inning, tied at 1 apiece. The Oilers, the Cardinals, here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Back with more right after this. Clark Modular Homes in Mount Pleasant are a one-stop shop from the buy, the build, and beyond with their fantastic service department. Stop in to see their selection and purchase options today on Pickard Road or visit them online at modularhomesbyclark.com. Clark Modular Homes, supporting Mid-Michigan youth in and out of the classroom.
Bill's Custom Fab can handle any job you need, from large-scale steel building projects to fixing your favorite stainless serving pan. Bill's Custom Fab can weld and fabricate anything. Call today at 989-772-5817 or stop by on Gover Parkway in Mount Pleasant. Good luck to all of our local athletes from Bill's Custom Fab.
The Bird in downtown Mount Pleasant, open every day but Sunday for lunch and dinner. Delicious pizza, the world-famous Bird Burger, handcrafted, fresh-baked subs, many apps, and much more. There's something for everyone at The Bird in downtown Mount Pleasant, where friends gather like family. The Bird, supporting high school sports in mid-Michigan for nearly 100 years.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. We are headed to the top of the second inning. McKenna Bowman back on the mound for the Oiler girls. Due up for Davison is going to be Brooke Pizzala, Emily Helton, along with Austin Clark. It's going to be 7, 8, 9. First pitch is over for a strike for Bowman. Sends this one in, swing and a miss at the plate there for Pizzala. Pizzala playing third for Davison. We're tied at 1 apiece here in the top of the second inning. This one's going to be fouled down the third baseline. It would have almost been a really good bunt if it stayed fair for Pizzala. Again, Helton on deck. She's DHing for Sydney Simmons, who's on the mound. Considering she had bases loaded with nobody out, only coming out, giving up 1 run, big time there for the pitcher on the mound for Davison. Bowman winds, deals, bounces that one in there, trying to get Pizzala to chase. She's able to hold off. Good eye at the plate. And you know, we're coming to you from the Barberry Law Studios, built by Konwinski Construction. Much love going out. Gates Drilling and Service, Bill's Custom Fab, the Bird All-American Grill, Clark Modular Homes, Weefrich Financial, sponsor of the Zeta Batchelder Baller of the Game, along with our friends at Woods Household Appliance and Claire, sponsor of our pregame show. Still early to think about that Zeta Batchelder Baller of the Game. But Petrino, already with a run scored into first. Let it off with a single. Swing and a miss going down on strikes. Actually, it gets away from Gillespie behind the plate. She looks to throw it down. It's overthrown, but what a backup play out there from Carmen Loya. And so it will be a strikeout, but ultimately is the single or whatever as it gets away. The error single, tough one to, rule in my scoring column there. It looks like we have she actually ended up getting tagged out. Your boy looked away down at the scoring column and didn't see exactly what happened, but nonetheless, she is out and ultimately will be ruled a strikeout as she went down on strikes. Give that credit to Carmen Loya for that great backup there at second base. Big swing and a miss at the first pitch from Emily Helton. 1 out, top of the second inning. We're tied at 1 apiece, the Oilers in Davison. Here at Ted McIntyre Field in beautiful Mount Pleasant High School area. Here comes a fly ball to center field. Borodachuk looks to track it down. She dives, can't quite come up with the catch. Zennerberg, nice job backing up from right field, gets it in quickly, and that was a solid hit there from Helton, definitely giving her credit for a single on that one. And now what's big about that is Pizzala getting caught out there in between first base and second base after reaching, striking out. She could have moved up to third possibly there. Now at the plate is the number 9 hitter, Austin Clark, with a runner at first. 1 out, top 2. Changeup's going to drop over. Excellent pitch there from Bowman on the mound. Not a whole lot Clark's going to be able to do with that, because Bowman can sing it in there. Almost looks more like a knuckleball than a changeup, the way it just kind of whoop, 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 and dropped back in there. This one's going to be fouled off the plate, strike two. We've got one out, top of the second inning. We're tied at one apiece. It's Mount Pleasant and Davison. 2 strikes to Clark, the number 9 hitter at the plate. Bowman already has 1 punch out here in the second. This one will be fouled over the backstop out of play. Clark staying alive. Parker Gordon is on deck. She walked her first time up and ultimately got out via fielder's choice. Holsworth winds, it deals. This one will be hit hard towards center field. It's going to get down, and it's going to get up against the fence. Cardinals are going to score at least 1 run here. Rounding second, coming in for the triple. It'll be a close play at third, but standing up safely is going to be Austin Clark, as she has got the RBI triple for Davison. Helton comes around to score. And it is now 2-1 Davison here in the top of the second inning after the smash from Clark out to right center field. Now it's back to the top of the order with Parker Gordon. She's batting from the left side. First pitch will be over for a strike. You can just barely see Clark here at third base on the screen. She'll dance away here after this pitch, just hoping for a pass ball. Bunt gets down, it's caught. They look to go to third for the force out, but back quickly is Clark. So a pop out to the pitcher there. Big time out from Bowman on the mound. 2-1 remains the score. 2 outs, top of the second inning. Stepping up is the shortstop, Berkeley Stimson. She reached via fielder's choice, ultimately came around to score in the first inning for the Cardinals. This one's going to be popped up towards left field. McIntyre gathers underneath it, and she's able to make the play. We're headed to the bottom of the second inning. The score is 2-1 Davison with the lead as they get another run across on 2 hits. They do leave that runner on third base. Due up for the Oiler girls, brought to you by our friends, we'll say at J&J Auto, Mount Pleasant Heating and AC, Weber Brothers Sawmill, and Mumford Oil and Gas Supply. It's Chloe Gillespie, Briar Zenneberg, and Morgan Barodachuk. And we'll keep things right here. More love going out to our friends, the Fisher Companies, Central Concrete, Central Asphalt, and Fisher Transportation, Kenneth Eggert, DDS, WW Construction, Bogwai Banga and Bradley, Gross Farms and Brad Gross Electric, Schaefer's Bait and Sporting Goods, almost up north, Stitches for Britches, your official Claire Pioneer Gear headquarters, Rick's Food Center, Doozy's Ice Cream Place, Thomas McCann and the crew at Boomer's Lawn Care, Mid-Michigan Industries, a Barry Funeral Home, and the Isabella Community Sportsplex. Simmons back out on the mound again. There's bases loaded for the Oiler girls. Petrino, Bowman, Loya all reach base, and then it was a strikeout from Barodachuk, a sacrifice RBI fly from Recker, and then McIntyre popping out to the pitcher. Could have been a very, very dangerous situation for the Davison girls, but some good defense got them out of it. It wasn't an easy play, I'll say, out in center field. And it was a good throw in to home as well, too, from Davison and Miss Parker Gordon. But Petrino was able to use her speed, and the throw would have had to have been a perfect throw to get Petrino at home trying to tag, and wasn't quite perfect. That's how the 1 run came across for the Oilers. Again, it was a single, bases loaded, then a strikeout for Barodachuk. RBI sacrifice fly for Recker, and then McIntyre popped out to the pitcher, leaving 2 runners on. 2-1 is the score here in the bottom of the second inning. At the plate, Chloe Gillespie takes a big cut at the first pitch, swing and a miss. Gillespie steps back in. That one's going to be low and outside. 1-1 the count. Chloe Gillespie behind the plate for the Oiler girls. Goes around on that one, kind of pulled it back at the last second. 1-2 now the count. So Simmons, after giving up those first 3 singles, really kind of locked in for Davison out there on the mound. As I said, she's not at the plate today. All of her focus is in the circle. Big swing and a miss there for Gillespie. She'll go down on strikes. It's the second strikeout already on the mound for Simmons. As I said, that record of Davison, not great coming into today, but the competition they played, absolutely stout. Zenneberg now at the plate. She's batting from the left side. Sends it out to second base. Over in time for the out. So ground out to second. So after those first 3 girls reached, it's been 5 up, 5 down. Obviously, you got the sacrifice fly in there from Recker, but really finding her way on the mound is Simmons. Here comes Morgan Borodachuk. Again, not your typical number 9 hitter. She's going to send this one towards second. It'll be another easy ground out. 3 up, 3 down. Back-to-back ground outs to second. And not a whole lot of pitches that had to be thrown out there for Simmons on the mound. We're headed to the 3rd inning. Davison has a 2-1 lead after the RBI triple from Austin Clark in the top of the 2nd inning. We're going to take another break here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. When we come back, and we'll talk more about this Oiler offense, maybe about some of the other teams in the Mid-Michigan area as well. Some of that action slows down. It is 2-1, the Cardinals with the lead here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Back with more right after this.
Weber Brothers Sawmill has been in the sawmill and logging business since 1950. Weber Brothers Sawmill buys standing timber and logs all over central and northern Michigan with National Hardwood Lumber Association certification. You can be assured of a professional job, from the marking and cruising of your woods through the harvest. Weber Brothers Sawmill is a proud supporter of our local high school student athletes. Central Michigan Sand and Gravel, just like our student athletes, they bring it. If you need sand or gravel, they bring it to you with fast service and a great price. For all of your sand and gravel needs, call Central Michigan Sand and Gravel today at 989-382-7089. Central Michigan Sand and Gravel, a proud supporter of our student athletes competing for their schools. Mount Pleasant Heating and Air Conditioning has been family-owned and serving mid-Michigan since 1962. They're dedicated to providing the best possible solution for your home or business. Mount Pleasant Heating and Air Conditioning is locally owned and supports our local community. For all of your heating and air conditioning needs, call Mount Pleasant Heating and Air Conditioning at 989-772-2881.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. First pitch of the 3rd inning is going to be a strike to Bella Massimino. Steps back in, batting from the right side. She singled her first time up, was stranded at third in the first, pardon me. That one's also over a strike, so she's behind the count 0-2. Big practice swing for Massimino, wearing number 11. Steps back into the box from the right side. Bowman ready to deal in the circle. This one's going to be hit hard in between third and short. I couldn't even catch up with it on the video. Hard hit ball there by Massimino. She is now 2 for 2 on the day with a pair of singles. Titsworth now up. She reached, I don't know if I want to call it an error or not. The girls tried to get the lead runner at third in the first, and there was a lot of contact at third. They allowed the play to go on. The ball came out of the hands. Here's another one hit hard. Borodachuk looks to get that lead runner. The throw is going to be a little bit behind Loya, so it's going to go into the outfield. Now they look to get the runner at third. It's going to bounce away. Petrino now looks to get it to second for the tag. It's not there as well. Some really nice base running there from Bella Massimino as she heads to third. Titsworth moves up to second as they look to get the double play. And so I'm going to say reaching via an error that time is Titsworth. So now here you go. We got runners at second and third. Nobody out here in the 3rd inning for Davison. At the plate is the catcher, Emmy Adams. Ullman deals. That's going to be over for a strike. Excellent location. Adams, her first time up, flew out to center field, and it was a nice play in center field from Lexi Borodachuk for the out. Ullman winds, deals Bounces that one in there, trying to get Adams to chase. She does not. Nice job by Gillespie keeping that in front of her at the dish. Have a timeout at the plate. Umpire's going to dust off that home dish there for a second. Runners at second and third for the Cardinals. There's nobody out here in the top of the third inning. It's a 1-1 count to the number 5 hitter, the catcher, Emmy Adams, who flew out to center field her first time up. Bolesworth winds the deals. They show bunt. Petrino looks to go home. They're going to get the tag down for the out. Big time play from Gillespie and Petrino. Woo, what a play there. So the runner is safe at first. You now got runners at the corners. Adams is going to reach via fielder's choice out, trying to go home as Massimino. Nice base running from Anna Titsworth to move up to third base. So now runners at the corners, one out. And Coach Pizzala out there wants a little explanation. You know, I'm not 100% familiar with the rules, blocking the plate, this, that, and the other. But it was a perfect play from Gillespie at the plate and a perfect throw from third at Petrino to get the out. People don't realize, you see it in the video here, how short it is, how quick it is from home plate to third base, whether that's the runner or the throw coming in. 2-1 is the score. We're at the top of the third. Runners at the corners, one out for Davison. They show bunt. It'll be over for a strike as Kelsey James pulled it back. Dancing away from third was Titsworth. Driving in from third was Petrino, ready to field the bunt. See if they show bunt here again. Bowman winds and deals. They don't show bunt. It's lined right up the middle for a base hit. One run is in. It's in quickly. They won't be able to send that runner from first to third, but it is now 3-1 Davison with the lead as Titsworth is able to come in for the score. Adams now at second, and it's an RBI single for Kelsey James. Brooke Pizzala now at the plate. She struck out, then reached first base as the ball got away from the catcher. She's going to hit this one hard. It's going to be fair into left field. They're going to hold up the runners. We will have the bases loaded full of Cardinals with one out after the single. Moving up to second is James. Moving up to third is Adams. Now at first is Pizzala. And the bats have awoken for the Lady Cardinals here in the third inning. Emily Helton steps up to the plate. She singled her first time up. Behind her is Austin Clark, who had an RBI triple her first time up. One out. Top of the third. 3-1 Davison. Bowman deals on the mound. That's going to miss outside. 0-1 or 1-0. So you think about that Weber Brothers Sawmill timber of the game, Gates Drilling and Service, Mumford Oil and Gas Supply drive of the game. It's got to be that RBI triple from Austin Clark so far, but could be a big moment coming here in this one. It's going to be hit hard towards center field. Zenneberg jumps to make the catch. Now she throws it home, looking to get the out, and the throw comes out of the arm. It was out. It was safe. It was out. Not an easy call there for the umpire, but she is safe. But what a play out in right field from Briar Zenneberg as she makes the catch. Gets it in quickly and almost was able to get the out, but Emmy Adams will come in to score. Or I believe so. I'm waiting to see it go 4-1. Still says 3-1 on the scoreboard. We'll check it here again in a moment. Here comes Austin Clark. Still a big moment with runners at second and third, and Clark at the dish. Swings and misses at the first pitch, and it is up there now. It's 4-1. Davison with the lead as they've got two across here in the second. Or in the third, pardon me. Scored one in the first, one in the second. Now two here in the third. Bowman winds, deals, hit hard towards shortstop. Borodachuk fields it in time, cleanly for the out. And so a ground out to short, but 2 runs come across. And also, though, if you're Coach Pizzala, that's another 2 runners left on. They have left somebody on in every single inning, but 3 hits there, maybe an error or 2 as well. It's back to the top of the order. The next time we'll see the Davison bats due up now for the Oilers here in the bottom of the third inning. It's back to the top of the order with Ava Petrino, McKenna Bowman, and Carmen Loya. We'll keep our broadcast right here as the Oilers get ready to Step up to the plate, back out onto the field is Davison and Simmons, who's got 2 strikeouts through 2. The Oiler girls, first 3 at-bats, reached base. Petrino with a single, Bowman with a single, Loya with a single. Then Borodachuk came up with the bases juice. She went down on strikes. Taylor Recker had a sacrifice RBI fly. Then McIntyre with runners at second and third popped out to the shortstop. And then it was a 1-2-3 inning in the second, and it was really quick. The 4th pitch of the at-bat for Chloe Gillespie, she struck out. First pitch of the at-bat, Zenneberg grounded out to second. Then Borodachuk came out. She grounded out to second, the first pitch that she saw. Here we go, headed to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Back to the top of that order with Petrino, Bowman, and Loya. The 3 of them get on. You like to think the Oilers will close that gap similar to what they did in the bottom of the 1st inning. It's 4-1 here in the bottom of the 3rd at Davison with the lead over Mount Pleasant. And the Oilers coming into this game at 12-5. Davison coming in at 2-8, but a really tough 8 losses. I'll continue to say that. Simmons back in the circle. Petrino at the plate. She's going to level this one out towards center field, but it ends up being right at the center fielder, Gordon, and she is able to come in and make the catch. Got a good hit there from Petrino, but sometimes that's why baseball, softball can be such a difficult game. You get a solid hit, well, you hit it right at one of those 9 players out there. Bowman steps back in, or steps in, I should say. She swings and misses at the first pitch, count 0-1. Simmons taking a look to the dugout, making sure she's got the correct call. See, a lot of the softball players out there kind of got what I'll call the quarterback wrist, where it's going to have some numbers on it. It's going to have to do with a certain pitch in a certain spot. 1-1 the count as that one bounces up there. Bottom 3, 4-1 the score. The Oilers trail Davison. That one's going to be high. 2-1 now the count to Bowman. Hear the cheers from the Oiler dugouts, and let's go McKenna. As McKenna Bowman steps back in. She's going to swing and miss at that one. 2-2 now the count. And I'm not behind the plate, so I can't see it, but Simmons doing a really nice job, it looks like, from what I see from the catcher out there framing things, moving the ball to all different parts of the zone. It's definitely changing some speed out there. That one is actually going to hit Bowman in the shin, so she will take first base. But that's probably the last thing you want is your pitcher kind of take one in the shin out there. She tries to trot it off a little bit, and we'll see if we have a pinch runner coming in for Bowman. I know she's got a lot of speed, and so if you're Coach Davis, you'd like her to stay out there. Again, when she's in the circle for you, got to make sure she's good to go and get the thumbs up from first base. Here comes Carmen Loya. Loya singled her first time up. Was ultimately stranded at second base in the first inning. 1 out, bottom 3. Our score 4-1. This one's popped up really high, coming in from short. The play is going to be made. Nice job calling everybody off, making sure she had she was the only one in the area for Berkeley Stimson to make the catch. So again, you had the first 3 batters for Mount Pleasant reach. Since then, hasn't been a whole lot going at the dish for the Oiler girls. They've got 1 player who's reached base. That was McKenna Bowman, who was hit by a pitch moments ago. First pitch to Borodachuk. She's going to swing and miss. Center fielder, freshman, steps back in, bat from the right side, takes a big cut at that one as well. Counting out 0-2 to Lexi Borodachuk. She struck out her first time up. 4-1 is the score. 2 outs. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Winding and dealing is Davison. This one's going to be popped up towards second. Not an easy play, but Titsworth is able to make the catch. And so we are headed to inning number 4. Davison with the lead, 4-1. And yeah, I'm a little surprised here. The Oilers leave one on base after the hit by pitch. But as I said, coming into today, you look at that schedule that Davison's played, it is really, really strong. So maybe I shouldn't be surprised at all by the score. It's 4-1, Davison with the lead as we head to inning number 4. Back with more Oilers softball right after this on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Hey, Rowan. Want to toss the ball around?
No, thanks.
A quick game of chess?
Maybe later.
Want me to teach you to ride a bike?
Pop, we did all that when I was little.
I guess you're right. Marbury Law's kept me so busy, time has just flown by.
There is one thing, though. You got any cookies?
Thought you'd never ask.
Joe Wentworth with Pradium Realty, Robin Stressman and Associates is a proud supporter of our local high school student athletes, working hard and showing pride for our community. For all of your real estate needs, go with Joe. Joe Wentworth with Pradium Realty, Robin Stressman and Associates, 989-817-1291.
Block Electric Company is a proud supporter of local schools and high school student athletes, learning skills in and out of the classroom to lead our communities tomorrow. Good luck to all student athletes from Block Electric, and go Aggies! Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Top of the fourth inning. Is the top of the order up for Davison. First pitch from McKenna Bowman's going to be over for a strike. That one's going to bounce on the plate and bounce away from Gillespie. First one, I believe she let get away from her this afternoon. She's done a fantastic job behind the plate and a good time to have that happen, as there's nobody on base right now for Davison. Top four, Cardinals lead it 4-1. Nobody out. This one's going to be hit right up the middle for a base hit. I tell you what, the Davison bats are awake this afternoon. Big-time single there for Parker Gordon. Her second time on base here. And 3 at-bats. She walked, was stranded, got out via fielder's choice in the first, popped out to the pitcher in the second, now singled here in the fourth. Here comes Berkeley Stimson to the plate. She scored the first run of the ball game in the top of the first after she reached via fielder's choice. She ultimately got out in the second inning to end inning number 2 for the Cardinals. Trying to take second base out there. It's a throw from Gillespie. It's going to get away from Borodchuk to the outfield. But a nice backup there from Alexi Borodchuk to not allow the runner to go to third. But it is a stolen base out there for Parker Gordon, showing her speed on the base path. Another runner in scoring position here for Davison. Scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third. For Mount Pleasant, you got to feel like you can't let them get anything here. And inning number 4. That will be over for a strike to Stimson to count now 1-1. Bowman back in the circle. Winds, deals. So it'll be hit foul right in front of us here. Count now 1-2 to Stimson. Bowman, you'd love to get a strikeout here with nobody out and that runner lurking at second base. And you got the feeling that if you're Mount Pleasant, you know you're going to get some runs. You got some powerful you got a powerful offense. 4-1 is the score, but you got a feeling you don't want to give up a run through the first 4 innings. That one's going to miss high. 2-2 now the count. They'll throw it. No, they don't throw it down to third. They actually throw it out to second to try and check, but Parker Gordon was waiting for that as she now takes third base. Parker Gordon with a pair of steals here in the fourth. Stimson steps back in now with a runner at third. This one's going to be popped. It's going to go down to Borodchuk. The only play she's going to have is at first. She gets it, but another run is around, and what a run scored by Parker Gordon. On the first pitch of the at-bat, Gordon took second. When she could, she took third. And then it just ended up being an RBI. Out, I'm going to right for Blakely Stimson as Borodchuk made a nice play, the only play she could. So it's going to be popped to the pitcher. It goes off the glove of Bowman. They got to get the throw over quickly. It's not in time. Good hustle from Bella Massimino. I'm going to give her credit for a single on that one as it was lined off the glove of the pitcher. There wasn't really a play for Petrino to make once she was able to gather it at third. And that is Massimino's third single of the game. 5-1 is the score here in the top of the fourth inning. Titsworth stepping back in. I have her reaching base both times via error. She's going to rope this one out to left center field. It's going to get all the way to the fence. Rounding third, coming around to score is going to be Massimino. There won't be a play at the plate as they do a nice job making sure that runner holds up at second. But Massimino with her first run of the game, and it's an RBI double for Anna Titsworth. And now I'm starting to wonder, how in the world is this team 2-8 on Game Changer? They are up 6-1, and the bats have been rolling for Davison here in this one. Emmy Adams now at the plate. She's technically 0 for 2 on the day. She reached base via fielder's choice. She does have a run scored. That one's going to miss. Titsworth thought about it. Now, pardon me, that is over for a strike. Titsworth thought about trying to take third base, but she ultimately trots back. 6-1 the score. Davison with the lead here in the top of the fourth inning. Oh, their bats are going to have to get going here on this Monday afternoon. Ted McIntyre Field. They want to come back in this one. 1-1 the count. One out here, top four. Bowman winds, deals. Want to be lined towards third base. Petrino holds for a second, but a really nice job of base running by Titsworth as she moves up to third base on the ground out. Petrino did what she was supposed to do, kind of looked that runner back, but Titsworth knew exactly what was happening and was able to move up to third base. There's now 2 outs here, top 4. Already a run across, 2 runs across here for Davison. Stepping up to the plate is Kelsey James. That one's going to be low for Bowman. Bowman around pitch number 62, 63 at this point. That one's going to be high, 2-0 now, the count to James. It was 1 run, 1 hit, 2 left on in the first, 1 run on 2 hits, 1 left on in the second, 2 runs on 3 hits, 2 left on in the third for Davison. They've got 3 hits, 2 runs across here in the fourth. That one's also going to be high, 3-0 the count. Bowman hasn't walked anybody since the leadoff hitter of the game, Parker Gordon. James awaits the 3-0, probably taken all the way on this one. Looked like she had the green light as she kind of turned the hips for a moment, but ultimately didn't take a crack at it. 3-1 the count as Bowman is over on that one. James steps back in, batting on the right side. Bowman ready with the 3-1. Woo, pulling the string on that one. James was way out in front. Counting is now 3-2. Runner at third base. There's 2 outs. The other girls trail at 6-1 here in the top of the fourth inning. Got a feeling you don't want that run at third to come in here. I'll say it again, though, this Oiler offense, they are capable of putting up a big, big number. Pop out to first base. Record gathers underneath it to make the play. And that'll take us to the bottom of the fourth inning. Due up for the Oiler girls, brought to you by our friends at Woods Household Appliance, Weave Rich Financial, Clark Modular Homes, the Bird All-American Grill, Bill's Custom Fab, Gate Drilling and Service, and Barberry Law. Yeah, it's a lot of sponsors for the Due Up. It is Taylor Recker, Haley McIntyre, and Chloe Gillespie. Back with more Oiler softball right after this on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
The Diner, where homemade favorites come to life every day for breakfast and lunch. From fluffy pancakes to savory sandwiches, The Diner has your cravings covered. Discover the perfect blend of comfort food and camaraderie at The Diner. Join them every Friday night till 7 for their famous fish fry. The Diner on North Mission, Mount Pleasant.
Jenna Gates.
And Kyle Gates here. We are the 5th generation with Gates Drilling and Service.
We've been serving our friends and neighbors in Michigan since 1893.
We have the latest and greatest well drilling technology, allowing us to put in wells where others can't.
Lake lots and tight spaces are no problem.
From our family to yours, thank you, and call at 989-772-7841 for all your well drilling and service needs.
Gates Drilling and Service, where Gates goes, water flows.
Bryce Updegraff with Pradium Realty, Robin Stressman and Associates thanks the coaches and officials who put in the time to help student athletes achieve their dreams and goals. For all of your real estate needs, the Bryce is right with Bryce Updegraff with Pradium Realty, Robin Stressman and Associates, 989-620-6595.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. First pitch, Taylor Recker. She fouled that down the third baseline. 0-1 the count. Recker steps back in. Sacrifice RBI fly of the first inning to bring across the only run of the game for the Oiler girls. They trail 6-1 here in the bottom of the fourth inning to Davison. 1-1 the count. Or pardon me, it's 0-2 after she fouls that one off as well. A couple foul balls here for Recker. Again, it was a 1-1 count. She had sacrifice RBI fly in the first to bring home Petrino. She's going to rope this one out towards left center field. It's going to get down and up against the wall. Recker will round first. She's going to dig for second base. She's in with a stand-up double, and maybe that is what the Oiler girls needed, was that leadoff double to get this very, very dangerous lineup going. 12-11, they beat Midland High earlier this year, and it was 7-8 runs, I believe, in the final frame to ultimately get that victory. We have a pinch runner coming in for Recker. Coming in to run is going to be, look like 17 going out there, but I didn't have that on my rooster. I'll make that joke. Once we see that or see it on the game changer, we'll get it squared away for you. But the main thing is the Oiler girls got their leadoff runner on here in the top of the fourth inning with a double. Haley McIntyre now stepping up to the plate. She popped up to the pitcher her last time up. Simmons back in the circle. She has been excellent today for Davison. So it'll be fouled down the third base line. McIntyre, a couple practice swings. She gets ready to step back up to the dish. Ball comes in from left field to Simmons. Digging back in is McIntyre. That one's going to miss. Gets away from the catcher for a moment. Not enough for that base runner, Barber, to take third. Simmons winds the deals. This one's going to be popped towards second. Not an easy play. Titsworth is able to make it. Make sure that runner gets back to second as well. Pop out to second base there for McIntyre. Chloe Gillespie now stepping up to the plate. She went down on strikes her first time up. One out, bottom four. Oiler girls trail at 6-1 to Davison. That pitch is going to be high and outside, 1-0. Gillespie looks down third base, Coach Davis. Runner ready to go at second. That one will also miss, 2-0. Now the count to Gillespie. Breyer Zenneberg on deck. Morgan Borodachuk behind her. Both of them grounded out to second in the second. That one's going to be in a great location for Simmons to get the strike. 2-1 now the count to Gillespie. 6-1 is the score. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. The Oiler girls trail Davison. That one's going to be over for a strike. Good location, good movement on that pitch from Simmons. 2-2 the count. One out, bottom four. Oiler girls trail at 6-1. Runner at second base for Gillespie. That one's going to bounce in. 3-2 now the count. Good job by Gillespie holding up on that one. Full count, one out. Runner in scoring position for Gillespie. Big pitch right here. That's going to be high, ball four. So now a pair of base runners for the Oiler girls with one out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. We have a timeout. We're going to have a pinch runner coming in for Gillespie. So a pair of pinch runners out there now for the Oiler girls. Now running at first is going to be Chloe Parker. First pitch is going to be over for a strike to Briar Zenneberg. Here comes the 0-1. That one's going to be fouled off. Zenneberg down on the count now, 0-2. Runners at first and second. Got one out here in the bottom of the fourth inning for the Oiler girls, who trail 6-1 to Davison. Said it a bunch, say it again. Davison's record coming in today, not easy, but they've played a gauntlet of a schedule to start things off. That one's going to miss. 1-2 now, the count to Zenneberg. Rodachuk up, then it's back to the top of the order with Petrino. Had a fly ball deep to center field their last time up. This one lined up the middle for a base hit. The runners will have to hold up, though, at first, second, and third. So single there for Zenneberg. And maybe, just maybe now, the Oiler bats are awake as the bases are loaded. They were loaded in the first. Nobody in the second. Just one base runner in the third. Here we are in inning number 4. They're loaded again. Rodachuk at the plate. First pitch to the freshman shortstop is going to be low, 1-0. Rodachuk sends this one deep. It's going to be off the way. It's gone! Barodachuk with the grand slam! As she rounds third, gives Coach Davis a high five and heads home to a load of her teammates. A blast from Barodachuk has completely changed the complexion of this game, because now it is 6-5 after the grand salami from Morgan Barodachuk. Big time hit from the freshman shortstop. Taylor reached via double. Gillespie reached via walk. It was a single from Zenneberg to load him up, and Barodachuk blasted it out to left center field, right where you see Mount Pleasant High School. The ball is just below, I think, the eye out there. What a bomb from Barodachuk. It was 6-1 moments ago. It is now 6-5. You think about that Weber Brothers Sawmill timber of the game. Mumford Oil and Gas Supply, Gates Drilling and Service drill of the game. The freshman, Barodachuk, with the grand slam to make it 6-5. What a moment for the freshman Barodachuk. Just when it seemed like maybe the Oilers were in trouble, they come here in the fourth, the bat's awake, and I said it before, not your typical number 9 hitter. You've heard me say it a lot. You see why I say that? Barodachuk with the grand salami, and it is now 6-5. And we're back to the top of the order, and Ava Petrino sends this one out to left field. It'll get over the left fielder's head for extra bases. I talked about the comeback they had against Midland. They are capable of putting up runs in bunches, and it has happened here in inning number 4. They've already got 4 on the board, and Petrino is at second base. Stepping up to the plate is McKenna Bowman, who has reached base both of her times at the plate. She reached via single, was stranded in the first. She looks to get the bunt down. It's going to get over the catcher's head. It'll be strike 1. But she's been on base both times. Reached via single, was stranded at third in the first inning. She was hit by a pitch and stranded at first in the third inning. But everything has changed here in inning number 4 with the blast, with the bomb for Morgan Barodachuk, the grand salami, making her older brother proud. That one's going to bounce in there. Petrino's going to be able to take third base. Petrino with the steal. Now a runner at third for Bowman. Umpire's going to dust off the plate. 6-5 is the score. The tying run now at third base for the Oiler girls. 1-1 count. One out. Bottom four. 6-1 heading to the bottom of the fourth inning. Showing bunt again is Bowman. It'll bounce in there. 2-1. One thing that Bowman does to that catcher behind the plate when she shows bunt, just a little bit more difficult to catch back there for Emmy Adams. Petrino ready to go home on that pass ball. Showing bunt, pulling it back once again is Bowman. The count is now 3-1. And Simmons, who's been great on the mound until inning number 4 here, but you just knew at some point this very potent Oiler offense was going to wake up. And it's been here in inning number 4. Bowman shows bunt once again. She'll pull it back and take strike 2. Count now runs full to 3-2. Infield not necessarily playing that far in, so I feel like ground ball here could score Petrino. That's going to be high, though, and it's going to be a walk. The second walk surrendered this inning for Simpson on the mound. Or Simmons on the mound, pardon me. Here comes Loya. Runners at the corners, one out. Going to fly a ball deep to the outfield. Even if it's caught, will score the tying run. A ground ball with the speed of Petrino at first could even score a run. That one's going to be inside. Bowman's going to take second base easily. I always give, the old Brad Antcliffe play right there. If they were going to throw that down to second base, Petrino was definitely going to go in from home. Now runners at second and third for Loya. Already 4 runs across here in the 4th on the grand salami from Morgan Barodachuk. Loya ready back in there. Count 1-1. This one's going to be pop foul to get out of play. Right around, I'll call my broadcast booth here. Another big shot to Jason McIntyre. Maybe at some point I'll show you the little box I'm in and the ladder that I've got to come up, but it was Coach Mack that kind of carried most of the stuff up for me. Big shout out to him. 1-2 the count. Loya steps back in. Simmons ready with the pitch. This one's going to be lined to the outfield. It's going to be caught, but Petrino is going to be able to come in to score the game-tying run. We've got 5 across here in inning number 4 as the Oiler girls tie it up on the sacrifice RBI from Carmen Loya. Now here comes Lexi Barodachuk. She's 0 for 2 on the day. She has a chance to drive in a run here, and we could have a pitching change on the mound, and it does look like we will. The left fielder is going to come in to throw. The right fielder is going to go to left field, and we'll see all the other situations happening as well. It will give me a moment to send it out to another quick commercial break here. But, oh, boy, the Oiler bats have awoken here in inning number 4. They trailed 6-1 heading to the bottom of the 4th inning. We are now tied at 6 apiece. And there are still runners on base for the Oiler girls. And when we come back here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Get your yard ready for spring and summer with Martinez Lawn Care. Martinez Lawn Care is scheduling spring cleanups now, along with bush and tree trimming, landscaping needs, and scheduled mowing services. Find Martinez Lawn Care on Facebook or call them at 989-317-5536. Weefridge Financial knows it can be incredibly overwhelming to navigate the world of financial planning. With trusted guidance and easy-to-understand advice, you can feel comfortable in your financial future with Weefridge Financial. Weefridge Financial assists people in all stages of life with a specialization in retirement and investment planning. Experience the power of working with an advisor dedicated to your success. Visit WeefridgeFinancial.com. Visit them in downtown Mount Pleasant. Call or text 989-953-7888. Weefridge Financial, member SIPC. Konwinski Construction offers a full range of construction services on small and large projects. Konwinski Construction is a leader in the community and are proud to support those student athletes who will be leading our community tomorrow. Konwinski Construction on Gover Parkway, Mount Pleasant.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Coming into pitch for the Davison girls is going to be Kelsey James, but not an easy spot to do it. Runner at second base. 5 runs already across for the Oiler girls here in inning number 4. Here comes Lexi Borodachuk. If she gets on, the Oiler girls will have officially batted around here in inning number 4 as it's Taylor Recker on deck, who doubled to start this inning. James in the circle, winds and deals. That one's going to miss as well. 2-0 the count to Lexi Borodachuk. It looked like James was just zinging him in there, but maybe she does have a little control trouble here to start the game. That'll be over for a strike. Old broadcaster jinx there. 2-1 now the count. We are tied at 6 apiece here in the bottom of the 4th inning. It was 6-1 heading into the bottom of the 4th. A grand slam for Morgan Borodachuk has changed everything in this ball game. And after her grand slam, it was a double from Ava Petrino. Stole third base. Bowman reached via walk, and then it was a sacrifice RBI from Carmen Loya. Now Lexi Borodachuk is at the plate. 3-2 the count. She thought that was ball 4, but it'll run the count full. James back in the circle, ready to go. That one will miss inside. It'll be ball 4. Taking her base is Lexi Borodachuk. Still at second out there is McKenna Bowman. And we have officially batted around here in inning number 4 as Taylor Recker steps back to the plate for the Oiler girls. We are tied at 6 apiece. There's 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. First one's going to miss high. Recker, think about that Zaid Batchelder baller of the game. Hard for anyone to take it from Borodachuk, which is that grand slam. Big swing and a miss for Recker on that one. Petrino's also 2 for 3. 2 runs scored. But at the plate, Miss Taylor Recker, she had the sacrifice RBI fly in the first inning to get the first run across of the game for the Oilers. She doubled and scored to lead off the big inning here for the Oiler girls in the 4th. Now she's back up here in the 4th inning. So technically 1 for 1 on the day with a double and an RBI. Runners at first and second, 1-1 to count. 2 outs here, bottom 4. Recker steps back in. James ready with the pitch. Actually, as that Recker takes another moment. Now she steps back in. That's going to be inside. 2-1 now the count to Taylor Recker. So a nice job at first base for the Oiler girls. And as I said, if it wasn't for Borodachuk, her and Petrino would probably be the 2 front runners for that Zaid Batchelder baller of the game, brought to you by our friends at Weefrich Financial. This one chopped hard towards short. Not an easy play. They look to get the tag. It's not there. Safe at third base, and the bases are loaded once again. Great running right there from McKenna Bowman. She's now at third. Lexi Borodachuk at second, and we're giving credit to a single there for Recker as they look to get the fielder's choice, but it was not in time, and I don't think they would have been able to get the throw over to first to get Recker anyway. Now here comes Haley McIntyre. Bases loaded. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Oiler girls already with 5 runs across here in the 4th. And Coach Pizzala coming out right now saying that was a bang-bang play, and that's actually one of those. I can't really go back and replay it, but if I had the replay here, I would have had a fantastic view. It was a very, very close play, and it was, if it being a force out, maybe should have, but nonetheless, there are bases loaded full of Oilers. For Haley McIntyre, she steps in, batting from the left side. Left fielder for the Oiler girls. First pitch is going to be inside, 1-0. Got Chloe Gillespie on deck. Walked, came around to score. In this inning already. That one's going to get away from the catcher. Coming in to score easily is Bowman. Moving up to third. Actually, they're going to say that it hit McIntyre, I believe, there, as McIntyre now trots to first. So we'll give her credit for the hit by pitch there. But the bases are still loaded, full of Oiler girls. Another run is across with McKenna Bowman. And you've now got Borodachuk at third. Wrecker at second, McIntyre at first, and it is 7-6. The Oiler girls with their first lead of the game. And if you're Davison now, you got to be really frustrated because you've managed to put up one of the first, one of the second, two in the third, and two in the fourth, and now you find yourself trailing 7-6. First pitch is over to Chloe Gillespie, batting with the bases loaded here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Zenneberg on deck, and then somehow it's back to Barodachuk, who just hit a grand slam a short while ago. That one's going to bounce in there. 1-1 the count. And James on the mound doing the best she can, but coming in a really tough spot here. As I said, you just knew at some point the Oiler bats were going to find oil. I'll make that terrible joke. And they have done so here in the bottom of the fourth inning. They've batted around. They already have 6 runs across, and they're threatening again with the bases loaded. Catcher Chloe Gillespie with a 2-1 count. That's going to be a tough strike call there for Gillespie. It was low, but a nice job framing it behind the plate from the catcher from Davison. 2-2 the count, 2 outs. 3 runners on for Gillespie. She's ready from the right side. Comes the next pitch. It's going to be hit towards third. Not an easy play over there to first, but it's in time for the out. And so finally, they get out of the inning. But the damage was done. 6 runs come across for the Oiler girls. Morgan Barodachuk with the grand slam. And 2 more runs coming in after that. We'll keep things right here. I'll kind of reset this inning here for you if I can. Taylor Recker led it off with a double. And had a pop out to second base from Haley McIntyre. Chloe Gillespie walked. Briar Zenneberg hit a single. That loaded the bases for the freshman shortstop Morgan Barodachuk. On the second pitch of her at-bat, she hit an absolute bomb out to left center field for a grand salami. Then it went back to the top of the order. Ava Petrino doubled, stole third base. McKenna Bowman reached via walk. She stole second base. It was a sacrifice RBI from Carmen Loya. Then Lexi Barodachuk came up and walked. Then Taylor Recker came up and singled. McIntyre was hit by a pitch. Another run came in, and Chloe Gillespie ultimately grounded out to third base. But 6 runs coming across for the Oiler girls in that fourth inning has completely changed this ball game. They now lead it 7-6 heading to the top of the 5th inning. And you just talk about a different situation, a different feeling out there if you're McKenna Bowman. Well, now you're not afraid to give up maybe another 1 or 2 here because the offense has awoken for the Oiler girls. Due Up brought to you by our friends at Gates Drilling and Service and Bill's Custom Fab. It's Brooke Pizzella, Emily Helton, and Austin Clark. And you think about that Bill's Custom Fab fabrication of the game, the drive of the game brought to you by Gates Drilling and Service and Mumford Oil and Gas Supply. Our Weber Brothers Sawmill Timber of the game. Not very often do you see a grand slam. Morgan Barodachuk, it's going to be hard to nab away all those honors from her today. Bowman back out on the mound for the Oiler girls. It's Gillespie behind the plate, Recker at first, Loy at second, Petrino at third, Barodachuk at short. In the outfield, it's Haley McIntyre in left field, Lexi Barodachuk in center, and Briar Zenneberg out in right field. This one's hit right towards short. Great play out there from Barodachuk. First time I actually forgot to move the camera out there. I think I've done a pretty good job so far, but a ground out to short. And if you get a 1, 2, 3 inning here, if you are Mount Pleasant, you will really feel like you have taken over this ball game. Emily Helton stepping up. She singled and scored in the second inning. Flew out to right field in the third. 1 for 2 on the day. Bowman's going to miss high. 1-0 the count. Helton the DH, so she's not playing, or maybe is playing in the field now, actually, after Simmons is gone from the game. We'll have to check that on the game changer once things come back up. Here comes the 1-0. It's going to be hit hard towards third. Petrino tries to make a play on it. Barodachuk tries to make a play on it. It gets by them both. A seeing eye single there from Emily Helton. That's a big hit right there. I really feel like if Davison went 1, 2, 3 in this inning, obviously the game's not going to be over. They still got lots of outs to work with and just down by 1. But just a lot of momentum now on the Oilers side. He did not want to go 1, 2, 3 here. Here comes Austin Clark, the number 9 hitter. Before that Barodachuk hit, she had the hardest hit ball of the game with an RBI triple. Looks to swing for the fences there again on the first pitch. Swings way early. Nice job by Bowman pulling the string on that one. Got one out here. Top of the 5th inning. The Oiler girls lead it 7-6. This one's going to be hit hard towards third. It'll be another single. So back-to-back hits from the 8 and 9 spot for Davison, and we're back to the top of the order. Just some great offense from both of these squads now in this game. It's 7-6. Back to the top of the order. Parker Gordon at the plate. Just walked, popped out to the pitcher, singled, and scored in this ball game. First one's going to be low. 1-0 the count to Gordon. Now Davison putting some pressure right back on the Oiler girls. This one's going to be hit. What a catch from Loy at second. They look to get the force out. They do! That'll end the inning. What a play from Carmen Loy as she nabs the catch at second base. Has the wits to throw it over to Barodachuk for the quick out, and the double play will end the inning. Oh, that'd be a 4-6 double play right there for the Oiler girls to get out of a little trouble. And all the momentum is wearing the blue and gold right now for the Mount Pleasant Oiler girls. We're headed to the bottom of the 5th inning. They lead at 7-6 after going into the bottom of the 4th inning, trailing 6-1. Due up for the Oiler girls, it's Briar Zenneberg, Morgan Barodachuk, and then back to the top of the order with Ava Petrino. It's definitely a tough situation for James to deal with as she heads back out into the circle for the Davison girls. What a defensive play from Loya. Again, if it wasn't for the Morgan Barodachuk grand slam, you think about the Bills custom fab of the play of the game, Bills custom fab fabrication of the game, that's it right there. Also, you could joke the fabrication of the game was just that entire 4th inning for the Oiler girls offense as they put a 6 spot on the board. They now lead at 7-6. We are in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's Briar Zenneberg at the plate for the Oiler girls. She's 1 for 2 on the day with a run scored. She singled to load the bases before that Barodachuk home run. She shows bunt here, pulls it back. That first pitch will be over for a strike. Bat from the left side is Zenneberg. That one's going to be over for a strike as well. Quickly 0-2 the count. That one's going to bounce in there. Good eye from Zenneberg taking that one. 1-2 the count. James looks the dugout to get the call again. I think I heard 147, so she's going to look on her quarterback pitcher's wrist there. So when I say quarterback wrist, I think when everybody knows what I'm talking about. It's going to have the pitch. It's going to have the location. Here comes the 2-2, working quickly. Swing and a miss that time. Zenneberg just trying to stay alive and foul that one off. She's going to go down on strikes. Here comes Morgan Barodachuk, who's got to be stepping to the plate with a bit of confidence after hitting a grand slam her last time up. Now facing a different pitcher here, though, with James on the mound. Checks the swing on that one. It's going to miss. 1-0 the count to Barodachuk. I haven't said it enough. Is that maybe the beginning of the game, you got the twin freshmen, Lexi Barodachuk and Morgan Barodachuk. starting right up the middle. Lexi Barodachuk playing center field. Morgan Barodachuk playing shortstop. Just kind of tells you about them. And then what they've done on the day has been pretty solid as well. The grand slam from Barodachuk here at the bottom of the order. She's going to take that one 2-1 now the count. It's back to the top of the order after this with Petrino, who's 2 for 3 on the day with a pair of runs scored. Big swing and a miss that time from Barodachuk. Nice job by James pulling the string on that one, having Barodachuk way out front. James back into the circle. Winds, deals. She's going to send this one deep. This has got a chance as well. That's going to go up against the wall, this time in right center field. And Morgan Barodachuk, Weber Brothers Sawmill Timber of the game. I guess her pops works at Konwinski Construction. I'll say Konwinski Construction Lumber of the game as well. Barodachuk is now 2 for 3 with a double and a grand slam. 1 out. Bottom 5, Petrino, the runner in scoring position. You heard me say it in the pregame. Barodachuk, a lot of girls, a lot of boys in the area aren't your typical number 9 hitters. I'll make the joke about myself here. You go to some schools, you got that guy, it's me batting number 9. Coach tell me, hey, I don't want you to swing until there's 2 strikes. See if you can take a walk every time. That's not the case for the bats we've got here. This one's going to be roped out to center field. Barodachuk rounding third. It's going to be a close play at home. Petrino with some great base running. She takes second. Another run is across. It's an RBI double for Petrino. Coming in to score her second run of the game is Morgan Barodachuk, and it is now 8-6. The Oiler girls. 6 in the 4th. Now 1 here in the 5th. Bowman at the plate. She's going to take ball 1 high and inside. 8-6 the count here in the bottom of the 5th inning. I'll say it again, going to the bottom of the 4th, the Cardinals led it 6-1. Bowman shows bunt, doesn't get it down. Staying at second base is Ava Petrino. Bowman on the day has been on base all 3 times at the plate. She singled, was stranded her first time up, was hit by a pitch and stranded in the second, walked and came around to score in the 4th. That's going to get away from the catcher, which will allow Petrino to steal third base. Ava Petrino turning in quite the performance. Again, if you take away Barodachuk's grand slam, there's so many girls that I feel like could be in the running for a Zaid Batchelder Baller of the Game, brought to you by our friends at Weefrich Financial. Bowman digs back in, batting from the right side. She shows bunt once again. She gets it down. It'll go foul down the third baseline. That'll now run the count to 2-2. So it's essentially take the bunt away from Bowman. She'll have to hit away here. And with the speed of Petrino at third base, a chopper here would score, a slow roller. Anything really hard hit to first or third probably would be tough for Petrino to come in, but anything other than that, I think she's got the speed to score. It does get put in play to short here. They don't have the throw home. The throw over to first is a little wide, and so safe at first base. I'm going to call it an RBI single for McKenna Bowman because that was a long throw from, I don't even want to say deep in the hole, but from third to first. It's an RBI single, another run across for the other girls. 9-6 now the score as Loya steps up to the plate. She had a sacrifice RBI her last time up. Maybe had the best defensive play in this game. The Oilers in some trouble with a couple runners on. She got the double play to end the inning, and she ropes this one right up the middle. And the Oiler girls have things rolling right now at the plate. They put up 1 in the first, nothing in the second, nothing in the third, 6 in inning number 4, and they've already put up 3 here in inning number 5, and heading out to the mound is Coach Bazzala. I think he's going to have to take James out of this game as well, as she had a couple walks out there, but again, the Oiler bats, they are alive right now, and every one of these girls starting to have a great day at the plate. Looks like we will have another pitching change out there. We're going to send it off to another quick commercial break. We'll be back with more Oilers softball right after this. They lead at 9-6 with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
When your team or business needs to look good, don't get left hanging. Call or stop by Hanging by a Thread in Wademan, the official embroiders for the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Hanging by a Thread, proud supporter of local schools.
J&J Auto in Wademan is Mid-Michigan's elite automotive repair shop. J&J Auto offers complete collision repair and mechanical repair. Stop by on Wademan Road or call them today at 989-644-8908. J&J Auto, proud supporters of high school student athletes.
Value is not just a price. When you buy something for your home, it's an investment. Knowing that you're getting a great deal and service after the sale is priceless. At Woods Household, we only carry quality products for your home at competitive prices. Furniture that is attractive and durable. Comfortable mattresses that last for years. Flooring that stands up to wear and tear. These are all products that last by trusted name brands like FlexSteel, Serta, Whirlpool, and many more. So shop the Woods way.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. Another pitching change out there for Davison. Again, I don't think you really blame any of these Davison pitchers. Things started off great on the mound for them, but after that, again, the bats have just woken up. Emily Heltland is now in the circle to try and deal with this powerful lineup of the Mount Pleasant Oiler girls, who have scored 6 in the fourth and already have 3 across here in inning number 5. There was 1 out. Lexi Borodachuk stepping up to the plate. First pitch is going to miss high. The runners dance away from first and second. At first is Loya. At second is Bowman. Just drove in Petrino moments ago. After Petrino drove in Borodachuk, who had another big-time hit after a grand slam, came up the next time and doubled. That one will be over for a strike to Borodachuk. 1-1 now the count to Lexi Borodachuk. Morgan Borodachuk with a double run score just moments ago, her twin sister. This was going to be fouled to the backstop by Borodachuk. 1-2 the count. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Oiler girls trailed 6-1 heading to the bottom of the 4th inning. And then, boom, 6 runs. Here in the 5th, boom, 3 runs. It was a double play in between by Carmen Loya for kind of a dramatic end to the 5th inning as well for Davison, as it looked like they might tie the game right back up. The Oilers took the lead 7-6. Davison was threatening. The double play gets them out of it. Now here we are, I guess 2 runs across. Make it 3, possibly after that hard hit ball out to left field. Coming in to score is Bowman. Sliding in safely to third is Loya. She's going to be able to take home as well. And the throw will be off. She is safe. Borodachuk rounds third. Again, I missed that hard hit ball as I kept it on the infield there. Pardon me as I continue to try the solo show here. But, oh boy, what an inning for the Oiler girls, as that's going to be a 2 RBI triple for Miss Borodachuk. Yeah, that's what I'm ruling it as in my scoring column. And it's now 11-1, the Oiler girls in front. Or 11-6, pardon me. 11-6, the Oiler girls in front. My, how quickly things change. Ready to step up to the plate now is Taylor Recker. She batted twice in the 4th inning. She had a double and a single in the 4th. The run scored. And pretty good inning. At third is Borodachuk. Lexi Borodachuk definitely has that speed to take home on a pass ball. This one's going to be pop foul. It'll get out of play. So Recker steps out, steps back in. It's Helton now on the mound for Davison again, but with what these Oiler girls' bats have done, whew, tough for anybody to be out there in the circle against this blue and gold lineup. This one's going to be hit hard towards center field. Tracking it to make the catch is Gordon. Looking to tag is Borodachuk. She will. 12-6 now the score. RBI sac fly there from Recker. Her second RBI sac fly of the day. It's kind of an old school baseball, just old school guy. I kind of love that. So the Oiler girls just continue to stack up the runs. They score 6 in the 4th. It's now 5 here in the 5th. 12-6 the score. At the plate is Haley McIntyre. She reached base
last inning via hit by pitch and was ultimately stranded there. She's going to foul this one off. Again, Helton at the plate, or at the dish, or in the circle. So I continue to goof up the terminology here. Starting the game was Simmons. Here comes the next pitch. That one's going to be inside, 1-1, the count now to McIntyre. After Simmons, it was James that came in. She got beat up pretty good in the fourth and the fifth as well. Now another pitcher coming in. Try and just do anything they can against this Oiler offense. It scored 1 run through 3 and has now put up 11 in the last 2 innings. And still not out of it here. Base is empty, runner at the plate. That's going to be over for a strike to McIntyre. Count now 1-2. On deck is Chloe Gillespie. After that, it'd be Briar Zenneberg. If Zenneberg came back up, it would be the second inning in a row that the Orla girls batted around. McIntyre's going to foul this one off to stay alive. One and two the count. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Oilers have now doubled up Davison. It is 12-6, Mount Pleasant with the lead. McIntyre chasing that one high. She's going to go down on strikes. But if you're the Oiler girls, you put up another 5 spot against Davison. We're headed to inning number 6. Davison has got to score a run for every out they've got left, and also hope that Mount Pleasant doesn't put up another run. And with the way the Mount Pleasant offense is working, that's kind of a shaky scenario right now for anybody. Due Up, brought to you by our friends at Weefrich Financial, Clark Modular Homes, Gates Drilling and Service. For Davison, it's going to be Berkeley Stimson, Bella Massimino, and Anna Titsworth. And that could change a little bit with all the substitutions and the pitching changes that we've had the last couple innings going for Davison. But what an afternoon for the Oiler girls. It looked like I might be a jinxing factor or something like that, as the bats were struggling a bit through the first 3 innings. But oh no, they wake up in inning number 4. Then you go back to that last inning. Helton reached via single. Clark reached via single. So you had 2 runners on with 1 out after Pizzala grounded out to the shortstop. And so back to the top of the order with Parker Gordon. It looked like, all right, Davison's going to come right back and get something going. But a double play 4-6 as they lined it out to Loya. Her and Borodachuk had the wherewithal to get the force out as well, to get the double play to end that 5th inning, to bring the big bats back up again. And then you put up another big number. 1 in the 1st, 6 in the 4th, 5 in the 5th for the Oiler girls. They now lead it 12-6, heading to the top of the 6th inning. Stimson steps in for Davison. Again, you think about the last time you were at the plate for Davison, you were just down a run looking to try and tie it back up or take the lead back. Now you're down a 6-pack. Bowman takes something off of that one way out in front, but still able to get a piece of it is Stimson. And from the right side, Bowman back out there. Some of the Oiler girls got the cutoff or rolled up sleeves. Some of them got the full sleeves out there. Maybe it's just Bowman on the mound with the rolled up sleeves. 0-1 the count. 12-6, the Oilers with the lead. Bowman continues to work in the circle for the Oiler girls. That one's going to miss. 1-1 now the count. Going to reset it for you here defensively. In left field, you've got Haley McIntyre. Out in center, it's Lexi Borodachuk. In right, Briar Zenneberg. At third, Ava Petrino. At short, it's Morgan Borodachuk. At second, Carmen Loya. At first, it's Taylor Recker. Behind the plate, Chloe Gillespie. And in the circle is McKenna Bowman. She's going to miss with that one. 2-1 the count. It's pitch number 3 of the at-bat bounced up there. Bowman winds, deals. That's going to miss. 3-1 now the count. And if you are Davison, Coach Pizzala, you'd love to get that leadoff run around here. And you've only got 6 outs. You need to manufacture 6 runs if you're Davison. From what we've seen from them, they are definitely capable of doing it. Pop up to first. What a catch from Taylor Recker.
Woo! Wrecker had to get a great jump and stretch out. She didn't quite have to dive for that one, but using every inch of that reach that she's got to snag that one. A tough out there for Berkeley Simpson, because that would have been a perfect pop bunt down the first baseline. If she's not able to catch that, she's definitely safe at first base. What a big-time play there from Wrecker at first. Bella Massimino blasts one here again. It's going to get up against the fence for extra bases, and Massimino continues to be absolutely dominant for Davison. She is 4 for 4 on the day. She has 3 singles and now a double. What a day for Bella Massimino. Now Anna Titsworth stepping up. She has reached base all 3 times she's been at the plate, twice via an error, and she had an RBI double. If you think about a player of the game for Davison, Massimino 4 for 4 on the day for the Cardinals. This one's going to be hit to the outfield, the left. McIntyre is able to gather it. Rounding third, coming home is Massimino. They don't make the throw to make sure that runner doesn't go up to second. I got to say I like that decision there, but another RBI double for Titsworth. Back-to-back RBI doubles for her as Massimino comes in to score her second run of the game. There's 1 out, top of the 6th inning, and Davison says, not so fast, my friend, like Lee Corso, and says, we still got some game to play. Emmy Adams now at the plate. Started behind the plate defensively. She's now on the mound. There's another base hit lined right up the middle. Rounding second and digging for third is Titsworth. So now runners on the corners for Davison. Single there from Adams. And here we go. 12-7 the score. 1 out. Runners at the corners. Big moment here for Kelsey James. She's 1 for 3 on the day. She has an RBI single that was back in inning number 3. 12-7 the score. Top 6. She shows bunt, pulls it back. Gillespie looking to get that runner down to second. They do. They will give up the run. As coming to score is Titsworth. It is now 12-8, but there's now 2 outs here. And as I said, if you are Davison, you need 6 runs for 6 outs. Well, so far you've gone. I'm waiting for that other running. So far you've gone 2 for 2. Should be 12-8 up there now, I believe. Still waiting for that scoreboard to change. Popping this one foul is James. She kind of wanted to check swing that one, but it still hit the bat. 0-2 the count. Two outs. Top of the 6th inning. Oiler girls in front, 12-8. 0-2 the count for Bowman to James. Big swing and a miss, a big-time strikeout there for Bowman to get out of the inning. And we are headed to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Oiler girls lead at 12-8, and what they've done the last 2 innings, it's been 6 runs in the 4th, 5 runs in the 5th. We'll see what they've got coming here in inning number 6. Leading off things will be Chloe Gillespie, and then Briar Zenneberg and Morgan Barodachuk. We'll continue to keep things right here with our broadcast. Let's give myself a moment here to take a little guzzle of water. But much love going out to our friends, Bryce Up the Graph and Joe Wentworth, Pradium Realty, Robin Stressman and Associates, JJ Painting and Martinez Lawn Care, Central Michigan Sand and Gravel, Block Electric, The Diner, All Seasons Fireworks, Pier Plumbing, Isabella Bank, and Hanging by a Thread. Davison back out there. I think it's a big deal that they were able to get a couple runs across there. So now 12-8. Again, I said they had to score 6 runs for 6 outs. They got 2 for 3 there. So I feel like that it just keeps you in the game and keeps you thinking, hey, we can win this. We can make this happen. And Helton now in the circle, and she started this game as the DH. Chloe Gillespie will lead things off. Technically 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out in the 2nd inning, walked and came around to score in that 4th and grounded out to 3rd to end the fourth inning. Yeah, she had 2 at-bats there in the fourth. First pitch will be over for a strike to Gillespie here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Orla girls in front, 12-8 over Davison. Gillespie with a big swing at that one. It'll be fouled off the backstop. On deck is Briar Zenneberg. She's 1 for 3 on the day with a run scored. Behind her is Morgan Borodachuk, who is 2 for 3 on the day with 2 runs scored and 4 RBI behind her grand slam that she had in the 4th inning. This one will be fouled off. Nice job by Gillespie staying alive. 0-2 remains the count. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Orla girls lead Davison 12-8. Coming into this game, Davison was 2-8, but a really tough 8 losses. Mount Pleasant 12-5. Said Mount Pleasant probably a solid favorite in this one. Davison came out and kind of was making me look like a fool. They were up 6-1 heading to the 4th inning, but then the Orla girls put up a 6 spot in inning number 4 to really open up the game. They score 5 more in the 5th. Here we are in the 6th. It is 12-8. Orla girls with the lead. It's going to be a call, third strike going against Gillespie. She will go down on strikes. I think she's thinking, hey, make sure you give me that frame call the next half inning as she's behind the plate. And those catchers, those umpires always have a little bit of a special relationship. Zetterberg stepping back in, hitting from the left side, has said 1 for 3 on the day with a run scored. Helton steps back into the circle. First pitch is going to be over for a strike. It's a beautiful day here. Mount Pleasant High School, Ted McIntyre Field, home of Oilers softball. Oilers girls 12-5 on the year, looking to be one of the top teams in the Saginaw Valley Conference. Say them, the 2 Midlands, and Grand Blanc be battling for it, but this Davison team, say it again, looking a lot better than that 2-8 record. 1-1 the count. Helton ready to deal. Big cut that time from Zenneberg, swinging through it. Zenneberg steps back in, again batting from the left side. Helton winds and deals. Zenneberg will foul it off to stay alive. On deck, Borodachuk. And it's back to the top of the order with Ava Petrino. Petrino and Borodachuk they're like a combined 5 of 7, 5 runs scored, 7 or 8 RBI. Just a great day for the number 9, number 1 hitters for Mount Pleasant. Swinging through that one is Zenneberg. Catcher drops the ball, then it's there with the bat. She'll be safe down at first base. Good hustle for Zenneberg, the rare strikeout single. I don't even know how you score that one in the box score, but she is on base for Morgan Borodachuk. As I said, Borodachuk's been pretty solid at the dish today. She grounded out to second in the 2nd inning, had a grand slam in the 4th, and a double with a run scored in the 5th. Now she steps back up again in the 6th. 3 at-bats, 3 innings. That does not happen very often. Swinging at the first pitch. It was high in the zone. Borodachuk, I think she's kind of feeling it, though. If she's able to connect with something, she knows she's going to send it a long way. Oh, 0-1 the count. And we're here in the bottom of the 6th, 12-8 to score. Borodachuk's going to pop this one foul. It's just going to get out of play. 0-2 the count now to Borodachuk. Petrino on deck. As I said, they've combined for I want to say it's a combined 5 of 7. Whew. Petrino 3 for 4. Borodachuk 2 for 3. And that will plunk her in the foot, they're going to say. As well as Borodachuk so casually tossed her bat and started walking down to first base. I'm kind of thinking, what are you doing? But now 2 runners on, only 1 out for Miss Ava Petrino. She's singled in the 1st, came around to score. She flew out to center field in the 2nd. She doubled, came around to score in the 4th, had an RBI double and came around to score in the 5th. Zenneberg at second. Barodachuk at first. First pitch is going to be high, 1-0. 12-8 the score. If Petrino's able to get something to the outfield here to score a run, it would be a big-time insurance run to get it back to 5 with just 3 outs for Davison. Petrino looking to send that one to the fence as she swings through it. 12-8 to score. Bowman on deck, who's reached base and come around to score her last 2 times up. This one's hit hard right up the middle. See if they send Zenneberg. They do. Here comes the throw home. They ultimately hold her up. The throw goes over the catcher's head, but Zenneberg had already holed up. I think Coach Davis has got nobody to blame but himself on that one. But Petrino reaches base again. She is now 4 for 5 on the day. Zenneberg at third. Barodachuk at second. Petrino at first. And here comes McKenna Bowman. 12-8 the score. Still just 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning with Bowman at the plate. Bases full of Lady Oilers. Bowman's going to take the first pitch. It's going to miss, 1-0. Loya on deck. Then Lexi Barodachuk. Then back to Taylor Recker. Helton with the 1-0. Checking the swing there is Bowman. It'll be a called strike. Twelve to 8 to score. Bottom of the 6th inning. 1-1 count. 1 out to McKenna Bowman, the number 2 hitter for Mount Pleasant. Swings through that one. 1-2 now the count. If you're Helton on the mound, it'd be a big strikeout here. Again, it's going to be a tall order to score 4 runs with 3 outs. But you can't let anything across here if you're Davison in this half. Swing and a miss. Going down on strikes is Bowman. That'll bring up Carmen Loya. She singled and was stranded in the first, popped out to short in the second, had a sacrifice RBI in the 4th, and singled, came around to score in the 5th. She's number 3 hitter here, one of the girls you love to have up with the bases loaded. First pitch is going to miss high. Behind her is Lexi Barodachuk, who had an RBI double her last time up. Loya awaits the 1-1. She's going to send it towards short. Not an easy play. Looking to get it over in time. They do for the 3rd out. Stranding 3 are the Oiler girls, but it's still a tall order ahead for this Davison team as they trail 12-8 heading to the top of the 7th inning. No matter what happens, the Oiler girls ended up giving up the lead somehow. They still would have a chance to come up to bat. But if you're an Oiler fan, the good news is you're looking at 7, 8, 9 in the bottom of the order. But it's not your typical 7, 8, 9. Austin Clark has maybe been the best batter of the game so far for Davison, as she is 2 for 3 with an RBI triple and a single. Behind her is Emily Helton, who has singled twice. Leading it off, number 7 hitter is Brooke Pizzala. She reached via an error strikeout, kind of weird thing there. She didn't end up reaching. She did reach safe after the strikeout, but then she kind of rounded first and got tagged out. But she has singled, grounded out to short. So the bottom of the order has been pretty darn good for Davison. A combined 5 for 9, I think, if I add things up right. But you know that old Spockman math is never really all that good. The point is, we're headed to the 7th inning. The Oiler girls need 3 outs. They can give up 3 runs. 12-8 the score. And again, it's Pizzala leading it off. Just a nice job at 3rd base for Davison in this one. Now needs to make something happen at the plate if the Cardinals are going to stay in this game. This one's popped up. Gillespie tries to make the play. Almost is able to run it down the first baseline. Would have been an amazing catch for Gillespie from her catcher spot. It'll just be a dramatic strike for Pizzala. Top 7. Oilers looking to close it out. They lead at 12-8. There will be a second game here that'll at least get started. Obviously, we'll not broadcast that one. What a comeback here for the Oilers. They trailed 6-1 heading to the 4th. So liner up the middle. It'll be a base hit to lead things off. That's what you needed if you're Davison. Again, they've got 4 runs they need to get in 3 outs. And Pizzala now 2 for 4 on the day. It probably should be a weird 3 for 4, though. Here comes Helton. DH batting from the right side. Bowman has been on the mound all game for Mount Pleasant. She has been solid. That one's going to be low in the zone, though. Nice location there from Helton. Or, pardon me, from Bowman. It's Helton at the plate. See Petrino playing in a little bit at third. Helton winds. That one's just going to miss 1-1 now the count. 12-8 is the score. Last opportunity here for the Davison Cardinals. They trail by 4. They've got the leadoff runner on. McKenna Bowman back into the circle. Checking that time is Helton. It'll be called ball 2. And they throw it down to first and get the out. What a play from Gillespie behind the plate to nab that runner. Oh, what a big-time play from Gillespie. And if you're Pizzala, you can't have that happen. Second time, you've kind of got caught napping at first base a bit. What a play from behind the plate from Gillespie. Now Helton back there with nobody on. Again, you needed 4 runs. You had 3 outs to do it. That is what could not happen right there. 3-1 now the count to Helton as that one misses high. Helton steps back in wearing number 4 for the Cardinals. Bowman back in the middle of the circle wearing number 1 for the Oiler girls out there in the blue and the gold with the white pants. Cardinals all maroon. That one will be low, and so taking her base will be Helton. And how big is that out to first base now? Whew, man. Here comes Austin Clark, who is 2 for 3 on the day, and it's back to the top of the order after that. Again, now just 1 runner on and 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Cannot stress how big of a deal that is. Bowman winds and deals. Looking for the fence is Clark on that one. She's just out in front, 0-1 the count. 12-8, Oiler girls lead here in the top of the 7th inning. 2 outs away from picking up their 13th victory of the season. They were down 6-1 heading into inning number 4. After that, the bats absolutely exploded. This one's going to be hit up the middle. Bowman with the play to get the stop. See if she can get the throw in time for the out. Safe at first base is going to be Clark. But I'll say it again. How big is that out from Gillespie behind the plate? If she doesn't get that out, you have the tying run now at the plate. Instead, there's 1 out with runners at first and second. Instead of the bases loaded, you're back to the top of the order with Parker Gordon. Our last time up, it was a hard hit ball to second base, and Loya made an amazing play for a double play. First pitch is going to be high, 1-0 the count. Gordon is 1 for 4 on the day with a run scored. Or I should say 1 for 3 as she's also walked. This one's going to be hit down the first baseline. It will go foul. Wrecker ready to make the play if it didn't do so. 1-1 now the count. Runners at first and second base. Top of the 7th inning. There's 1 out. The Oiler girls lead it by 4. Gillespie with a big out from behind the plate, getting Pizzala, who led off the game with a single. The bases could be loaded, or there already could be 1 run across if Pizzala never gets nabbed. This one's going to be hit hard towards right center field. Not an easy play. Zenneberg looks to make it. She can't catch up with it. Hit to the perfect spot. They will get the force out at second base, though. What a throw. What a throw in the outfield. I'm not even sure if that was Zenneberg or if that was Barodachuk with the throw, but either way, it's a single for Gordon, but you get the force out going to second, and so 2 runners nabbed on the base pass here in the 7th inning for Davison. Ooh, that's just tough to deal with. They look to take second base. Now they throw it down to third, looking to get the lead runner, but it's a wild throw. Coming home to score is going to be Helton. Moving up to third base will be Parker Gordon. And so one run is across. It's now 12-9 here in the top of the 7th inning. 2 outs, 1-0 count to Berkeley Stimson, the shortstop for Davison. That pitch is going to miss low. 2-0 now the count to Stimson. 12-9 the score. Awaiting on deck is Bella Massimino, who was 4 for 4 on the day. If she's able to come up, she would be the game-tying run. This one's going to be popped up. This could do it. Recker gathers underneath it to make the catch. And that'll bring us to the end of the ball game. 12-9 is our final. The Oiler girls are victorious over Davison in a very offensive-filled, dramatic game. They've got another one coming right up, but your boy ain't calling that one, so we're going to put a bow on this one. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with our Bird All-American Grill post-game show right after this on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Clark Modular Homes in Mount Pleasant are a one-stop shop from the buy, the build, and beyond with their fantastic service department. Stop in to see their selection and purchase options today on Pickard Road or visit them online at modularhomesbyclark.com. Clark Modular Homes, supporting Mid-Michigan youth in and out of the classroom.
Bill's Custom Fab can handle any job you need, from large-scale steel building projects to fixing your favorite stainless serving pan. Bill's Custom Fab can weld and fabricate anything. Call today at 989-772-5817 or stop by on Gover Parkway in Mount Pleasant. Good luck to all of our local athletes from Bill's Custom Fab.
The Bird in downtown Mount Pleasant, open every day but Sunday for lunch and dinner. Delicious pizza, the world-famous Bird Burger, handcrafted, fresh-baked subs, many apps, and much more. There's something for everyone at The Bird in downtown Mount Pleasant, where friends gather like family. The Bird, supporting high school sports in mid-Michigan for nearly 100 years.
Let's head back to the action on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back to it one more time here on the Mid-Michigan Sports Network. We're going to get a great view of the scoreboard, and it kind of, shut off afterwards. So we'll just go with the home of Oilers softball here on our Bird All-America Grill post-game show. The Oiler girls down 6-1, heading to inning number 4. Put up 6 in the 4th, 5 in the 5th, going on to win 12-9 over Davison. Came out, played really, really well today. Again, that 2-8 record, don't be fooled by it. They have played a whole lot of tough competition. But you think about it, all the accolades, all the awards, they're going to be going to homegirl Morgan Borodachuk, our Weefrich Financial Baller of the game, the Zaid Batchelder Baller of the game, the Bills Custom Fab Fabrication of the game, the Timber of the game, the Drill of the game, brought to you by Gates Drilling and Service and Mumford Oil and Gas Supply, and much love to Weber Brothers Sawmill, the Timber of the game. Miss Morgan Borodachuk, who ends up going 2 for 3 on the day. She was hit by a pitch in the 6th inning, so kind of a non-counting at bat. She grounded out to second in the 2nd, but then in the 4th, she came up with the bases loaded after Gillespie had walked, after Recker reached via double. Gillespie walked in a single from Zenneberg. She hit a bomb right about to the flagpole there, maybe right in between high and school, or right by the word high, just an absolute blast. And it was 6-1 when she hit that home run or that grand slam. That made it 6-5. That absolutely changed everything. After that grand slam, Petrino came up and hit a double. McKenna Bowman walked. He had a sacrifice RBI from Carmen Loya. It was just an unbelievable 4th inning for the Oiler girls where they batted around. Taylor Recker actually went 2 for 2 in the 4th inning. She will probably never do that again. But all the accolades are Zaid Batchelder, Baller of the game, going out to Miss Morgan Borodachuk. A grand slam, a double, a pair of runs scored. What a day. And also a side to Ava Petrino there as well, who was 4 for 5 on the day with 3 runs scored, including a couple RBI herself. Our final, the Oiler girls victorious 12-9 over Davison to move to 13-5 on the year. We've got more baseball coming up tomorrow. Our first look at the back-to-back state champion Beale City Aggie boys as they take on Roscommon. Our final here, 12-9, Mount Pleasant over